In a major escalation of tension between US and Latin American countries, US has decided to send aircraft carrier USS Gerald Ford, and it is world's biggest aircraft carrier. Now it is heading towards Caribbean Sea, and it is not only deployment by the US Navy. In fact, already six destroyers, fighter jets, and B-1B Lancer long-range bomber is already deployed towards Latin American countries, specifically Venezuela. In recent past, US have accused Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro for supporting drug cartels and criminals, whereas Venezuelan President is saying that the US main intention is to overthrow his government. And the reason behind that, US want to complete control the oil wealth of Venezuela by installing a puppet government there. So in this context, this drug cartel versus government overthrowing issue is getting escalated, and tensions are rising in that peaceful region, which is usually known for its scenic beauty and beaches. But right now, this Caribbean Sea is going to be a geopolitical center where the tensions are being escalating. And Venezuela is also saying that they are not going to bow down against any US pressure. And in order to show their solidarity with their armed forces, they also started deploying their Su-30, which is also having 𝐾𝐨𝐰𝐧𝐥𝐨𝐚𝐝 long-range sea-skimming missiles which can target destroyers. If any escalation is going to be happen, then it will be another front of the war in the world. The Environment Ministry has decided to expand the white category of industries by including 86 industries into this category. In order to give a clear-cut policy for which industry can get clearance at what ease, Environment Ministry categorize industries into four major categories. One is white industries, second is green industries, third is orange industries, and red industries. White industries are those industries which are not having any impact or bare minimum impact on the environment, whether it is air pollution or it is a water pollution. Whereas next category, that is green industries, which have very low impact on the environment, then orange industries which are having a moderate impact on the environment, and then it is the red industries which are having the high impact on environment. So those industries who are having low or no impact on the environment, they can get environmental clearance easy in order to run their business. For that purpose, Environment Ministry usually go for this categorization. This categorization is given by the Environment Ministry, but actual calculation is done by Central Pollution Control Board, which prepare pollution index, and on that basis, they categorize the industries in this category of four: white, green, orange, and red. 31st October is celebrated as Rashtriya Ekta Divas, that is National Unity Day, a birth date of our first Deputy Prime Minister and first Home Minister of India, Sardar Patel. This year is going to be 150th year of birth anniversary of Sardar Patel, and it is going to be celebrated at Ekta Nagar, which is sandwiched between Satpura and Vindhya range. This year, this parade is going to be attended by the Prime Minister, and the guard of honor in this parade will be given by women police officers. Apart from these women police officers, other central paramilitary forces, police forces are going to join this parade. Usually this parade is static, but this year the parade is going to be dynamic, means in this year's parade, tablets of various states are also going to participate, and security forces, those who have won the gallantry awards, they are also going to participate in 150th year birth anniversary year of Sardar Patel. Reserve Bank of India has issued a draft circular, and under this draft circular, RBI have proposed to limit the exposure of Indian banks to capital market to reduce to 20% of their tier 1 capital. Let's understand this in a more detailed manner. Banks can invest their money in the various sector, including the capital market. But usually capital market is considered a high risk area, and if banks are going to invest too much in that area, there is a huge chance that public savings are going to lost because of this excess exposure of the bank towards the capital market. In order to limit this exposure, Reserve Bank of India want to limit 20% of their tier 1 capital. Now, banking capital is usually divided into two types, tier 1 capital and tier 2 capital. Tier 1 capital is a bank's main capital, which banks do earn from their primary sources through lending and other assets. So, tier 1 capital is the most important capital of the bank. Now, the draft proposal is it should be limited to 20%. However, apart from this limiting of the 20%, Reserve Bank of India also have proposed, despite this limit of 20%, now bank will be allowed, if this draft proposal is going to be accepted, bank will be allowed to invest in the company providing the loan for merger and acquisition of foreign firms. Usually banks are not allowed to give a loan to companies in India in order to go for merger and acquisition. But now, if this draft proposal is going to be accepted, banks will be allowed to lend the money to companies, Indian companies, in order to acquire foreign companies or even Indian companies through merger and acquisition process. But the condition is the company which is looking for acquisition, have to explain the reason why they seek capital, and the company which they are going to acquire must be profitable in past 3 years. Day before yesterday, Israeli parliament have passed a resolution, and that resolutions allow Israeli forces to invade West Bank. Means after Gaza, the West Bank is also going to be under invasion of Israel if this resolution is going to be enforced. However, the world has reacted, including India. India's permanent representative to UN, he have made it clear on the behalf of the government of India, any kind of aggression in the West Bank will be opposed by India. In this context, we have to understand the fragility of the entire region's geopolitics. Recently, Donald Trump have broken a deal of peace between Israel and Hamas, where both parties have exchanged the prisoners and they decided to stop the fighting in the Gaza Strip. Now, this provocative statement and resolution passed by Israeli parliament is highly escalatory in the nature with respect to already fragile situation and fragile peace treaty which is recently concluded between Israel and Hamas. After taking the oath of Prime Minister of Japan, in fact the first lady Prime Minister of the Japan, Sanae Takaichi, she was in the Japanese Parliament, House of Representatives, and during her speech, she has made it clear that she is looking forward to strengthen India-Japan relation and the Quad. And she have retreated Japanese commitment for open and free access of Indo-Pacific. In this context, India and Japan are not just looking forward to have a more close economic relation, but in the recent past, Japan and India also have decided to elevate their relation in the defense area also. Last year, India and Japan have decided to go for having the military purchase also, and in fact during our Prime Minister's visit to Japan, both countries have decided to have a cooperation in the maritime, and Japan has agreed to sell their unicorn radars to India. In this context, the present Prime Minister of Japan, she is considered as a hawkish towards Chinese. In the recent time, the rising Chinese power in the region have made Japan uncomfortable, and there is a debate in the Japan whether Japan should remain pacifist which they have decided after Second World War, or they have to expand their capacity military wise. We know that rather than having armed forces, Japan have self-defense forces. But is it right for a Japan when China is consistently increasing their military power? Already they are having a massive economic power and they are consistently increasing their military power. So in such case, whether it is right for the Japan to be remain pacifist or not, this is a question among the common Japanese people. And now they have a prime minister which is already having a hawkish attitude towards the Japan. So in this context, the statement of the Prime Minister of the Japan is very important because in very first speech, she has mentioned about the strengthening the relation between Japan and India and strengthening the Quad. Thank you.